this very sad story about the Power. Red
It's
Power.
not as sad as it is just absurd.
It's kind of funny and absurd. Yeah. Red Power Ranger actor Austin St. John arrested for COVID fraud. Massive FBI raid and guns drawn. So like I said, this is the only thing akin to this is Tommy Oliver going evil in the Power Rangers when he was the Green Ranger and had his mind infected and had to eventually become the White Ranger later on. I want to buy one of those dragon daggers.
I love
still.
that you know the lore.
It was part of my childhood. I'm not one of those people that followed Power Rangers after the
Power
first.
Rangers are a long surviving series. They've had several iterations. Like, I think you could probably still find Power Rangers on TV for children.
No, there is, and
I think that's cool because I grew up with Power Rangers too, and like I don't know any of the lore. But
it has an extremely.
It was a good time.
It has an extremely rabid fan base still. It's like one of those things
crazy.
where it's like the people, they love the comics, they love the original art.
We've
they
said
do
that
fan
we
films.
like it though. They're gonna ruin it somehow.
Yes, so they make
It's just a
fan
matter of
films, stuff
time.
like that. The 2017 movie was I officially started to feel old when like there's an actress in there that plays one of the characters' moms. I think it's Trini's mom, and the actress who plays the mom is like Erica Sarah, and I'm like, she can't really be the age of a mom. And I looked it up, I'm like, oh, she's only like a couple of years older than me, and I'm kind of like, ugh.
You too could be a mom if you wanted to.
If I wanted to, I am the age
Just
of I am at the
kidding.
age of motherhood. So it says actor
motherhood, and then some other barriers to that.
So it says Austin St. John, the actor who played the Red Power Ranger in the 90s TV series, has had his house raided by the feds. He's now under arrest for a massive federal criminal case. One of St. John's neighbors told TMZ that approximately 15 FBI agents in tactical gear rolled up to St. John's house. I know, right?
His
And
neighbor.
and then he didn't even get his name in print. Haha.
Thursday at 7 a.m. in Tahoe Tahoe Suburbans, in an upscale neighborhood in McKinney, Texas, brandishing what looked like AR-15s as they approached his porch.
Don't you guys think that that's a little bit of an overreaction to a financial crime?
Didn't they do this to, what's his name, from the Trump administration?
They do this all the time.
Who?
I could be misremembering.
They also like did this to James O'Keefe with Veritas. Like,
yeah. So it says
show of force, you know.
Jeez.
they entered the home. When they came out, they had +1 St. John in cuffs. Turns out there was a massive federal indictment involving 18 people who have now been charged with fraud. The indictment alleges that St. John was part of a scheme to defraud the Small Business Administration's Paycheck Protection Program. That's the program designed to help small businesses affected by COVID. So this isn't the first time this has happened either, from what I remember. And I do have that other one, that other article pulled up.
It's
but
not
it says
the first time the Red Power Ranger has been arrested.
that celebrities have gotten caught defrauding the pay.
Yeah. Well, actually, one of my favorite times I report on this for Tim's site was the NBA had a big defrauding scandal. There were a bunch of NBA players who were faking medical documents to make claims because they have continuing health insurance even after they're retired.
So it says he got 16. It says St. John allegedly got 16 loans totaling $3.5 million, which he used for personal purchases and not for the intended purpose. Even if it was used for the intended purpose, the feds claimed it was obtained fraudulently. St. John played Jason Lee Scott in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which launched his career in 1993. I mean, launched is a pretty harsh
He lives in an upscale neighborhood in McKinney, Texas.
Yes.
He is a star. Actually, McKinney's a cool place.
Yes, I know people from McKinney.
Me
So
too.
we go down here and it says the indictment states 2 other defendants, Michael Hill and Andrew Moran, were ringleaders in corralling 16 others to apply for small business loans with falsified documents and collected the money for their own personal purchases. So the first article made it seem like he filed for all 16 loans himself, but what it is like a bunch of people get brought into this to
Under him?
Yes, under these other 2 people. He was just one of 16 other people who did this. It says on the applications, the defendants are alleged to have misrepresented material information such as the true nature of their business, the number of employees, and the amount of payroll.
Did this guy have anyone on his payroll?
It says it does not list anything there. I'm guessing that he doesn't because he was charged with fraud. So it says the Paycheck Protection Program was designed to help struggling small businesses during the pandemic and giving loans to business owners in need as part of the CARES Act passed in 2020. So this is kind of fascinating because the other one I remembered was there was an old mid 2000s or late 90s musician, a band called Pretty Ricky, and like the lead singer of Pretty Ricky got caught up in this as well as a bunch of other artists from like Georgia, and that was mostly musicians. So it says
I don't know, like if you're thank you if you're an entertainer and you got your money up, you don't need to commit fraud. So
well, yeah,
this is embarrassing for
Oh, this time
Austin
it gave me
St. John.
hundreds. Sorry.
So it says this is the I'm just pulling this over. This is the other indictment. This is the one from Georgia. It says among those indicted were Ian Overman. I don't know if that was supposed to be Ian, but I'm guessing it's Ian Overman, an actress who appeared in the early 2000s series Port Charles, as well as Desperate Housewives, and Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail. That's ironic, kind of, in a way. I don't know. She doesn't play Medea, so I guess that's... Carlos Klaus Stevens, music producer and consultant who worked with Master P and Lil Romeo. That's too bad because Master P is awesome still to this day. Dale Godbaldo, an actor who appeared in The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Again, a bit ironic, but, you know. And then media personality... Marvin Luton, media personality covering hip-hop, known as OG Shoddy Powers. The people involved in the indictment haven't spoken publicly as of yet. And then the other one said that basically they were using it to keep their lifestyle up, right? So it's thank you.
Nice.
I think we are running dry on our special money machines today. That's how generous people are being. That's very nice.
But
So
reload them so they'll keep being generous.
yes. So what's funny about this is like you're right. Like if you're making good money, and a lot of these actors, it's not like the people mentioned were like high name people, right? So it's like they're still living paycheck to paycheck a lot of the time, right? They're not living in $1 million mansions. They're just happen to be part of an industry where the persona of most of those people is that they live in that world.
And depending on how you like structure your money and stuff, right? You could like make a lot of money when you're a young actor, your career kind of dies off, and so you invest in other things. You have a sort of second career.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to believe he's doing poorly financially. He's not necessarily living paycheck to paycheck, but like that doesn't necessarily give you credit to defraud the government.
Also, some people are just greedy. Some people are just greedy and think that they can get away with stuff that they can't, and that's even more heartbreaking to
I
me.
have seen a couple things about these loans that were like given out in the COVID era that like because they were coming out so quickly and people were applying for them, not everyone understood like with the loans like what you needed to submit. Like you could get them, but you could get them having not totally accurately represented your information, and then it was a question of like or like what you had to do afterwards.
Yeah.
I've heard that there is some bureaucratic like misinformation out there, or like it's been difficult to follow. And this doesn't seem like it. This seems like an intentional plot to be like, we'd like some money. Please give us some money. Also,
there was like a lot of stuff when people were applying for unemployment that they like tried to ease the process of applying for unemployment because it was bogging down the system in a lot of these states, which is, but of course, whenever tragedy or misfortune or bad events come about, there's going to be people who want to take advantage. And that's kind of...
Do you guys think that an entertainer would be more likely to take advantage of an unfortunate situation?
Like speaking to the morality of of the entertainer, like it's not like this guy's been acting like a ton, so it's like I don't like think of him the same way as I would think of if Tom Cruise, who we're going to talk about here in a little bit, don't worry, it's not about Tom Cruise, it's about a movie he's in, but like if somebody of that level of money is doing something like this, that's so abhorrent that I don't think anybody can get behind that or believe that they would do something like that. But somebody like this, who's like an actor but not necessarily a working actor who's probably doing other things with his money and his time now, it's more likely to believe that they would think that they could get away with something like this.
I feel like I'm not willing to say like, oh, because he's an entertainer he's more likely to, right? There are sleazy people in all industries who will take advantage of like whatever benefits they can.
Absolutely.
I think that like studies show that certain personality types or certain personality disorders are drawn to certain careers, and so like in that sense, maybe if you're arguing like people who are drawn to acting are also like report higher rates of like deceptiveness, then maybe I could get behind it. But like just as a generalization, I don't feel like it. Well, it's like I forget what it is, but it's the personality type that Hillary Clinton is on Myers-Briggs, like INTJ, I think.
What does that mean?
It's
Myers-Briggs or INTJ?
No, INTJ.
It's like
introverted, intuitive, thinking,
judging,
and
like the highest concentration of them in America are in and around DC.
Politicians.
Or like car salesmen report higher rates of sociopathy. study show. So like in that sense, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
isn't that also a long-held suspicion of like CEOs that like the idea being that like if you're going to like literally be responsible for the livelihoods of like hundreds of people or thousands of people, you kind of have to be able to treat them like look at them as if they're numbers on a spreadsheet.
Well, that's
also
what an
like,
intelligent psychopath is, and then like an unintelligent psychopath is just like
belligerent.
The guy who stabbed Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, like think about
literally
sociopaths is like a lack of the ability to feel empathy, right? So like one of the reasons you might say a sociopath might exceed in sales is like they don't care if they're ripping you off. Like that's not their focus, right? Because they literally can't feel that. And so in that sense, like just to reiterate the point, like I actually don't know that entertainers are more likely to commit fraud. Like especially successful actors, if you have the money, why do you need to? But like again, if we're still reporting high rates of deceptiveness or greed in certain industries, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if some like bigger names are involved, but they won't get caught.
Probably, yeah. Like their name doesn't quite come up in the indictment. I'm sure that seems likely. All right, were there any super chats there? I believe I saw 2 there.
I feel like I saw more.
Okay, 14 Apple Pie said, not that into rap music of today's era, mainly listen to reggae. Y'all should give the group Leah Terra a listen. Great songs, lyrics helped me in hard times.
That's one of the best things in the world is to have music that helps you when you're struggling with that. I have
reggae
a lot of bands
is like
that.
A little too positive for me.
That does not surprise me at all.
Do they have like death metal reggae we could play? Do they have sort of punk reggae?
Music not being too positive for you is absolutely something that I buy. I buy that like 110%.
Or it's not vapid enough, maybe. Blue Ridge Bear said, y'all should discuss your favorite and most underrated movies. I'm surprised more people don't know about The Rocker with Rainn Wilson and MySpace.
Have
you guys heard of that?
No,
those are not ones that I've heard of.
I've tried. I mean, I think you do it sometimes, but Brett and I have talked about having a segment where it's called like "I'm Not Over This," and you could just talk about stuff that's happened in the past. So
we did that once, right?
Yeah, we did
haven't
that.
Brought it back since.
We did that with White Boy Summer for Dane, so that Dane could talk about White Boy Summer. I wanted to do it with the story about about the dog that got addicted to cocaine because of all the coke that was being done at the Playboy Mansion.
I think that there's like a lot of ways you can apply this. So probably talking about like our favorite movies or like.
I would love to be able to just like pick a TV show that I love and just talk about it randomly on like not even like record a video because I'm too ADHD to be able to do it in like a segmented format where I talk about the things I like, I talk about this, I talk about that. I want to just be able to like say this is what I'm going to talk about and then just yap for as long as I can.
We talked about on like a weekend segment like towards the end of the week doing a like here's what you should watch, like a recommendation. So you could recommend something current or something coming out, but you could also be like, I love this movie, it doesn't get enough attention, and recommend it. So maybe like there are ways to work that in.
This week that would be telling people to go watch The Wire because they should all be watching The Wire again. For the however many times you've seen it, it's not enough. You should be watching it multiple times because
where is that again?
The Wire is on HBO Max right now.
I've never seen The Wire.
I'm not going to pay for that. Sorry.
See. A girl who doesn't pay for streaming. My research continues.
Wait, is that like a theory you have?
Yeah, I have a pet theory that women don't pay for streaming at the rates that men do. Men will have multiple streaming platforms that they pay for, and anecdotal evidence suggests that women are less likely to pay for any of them. And if they are going to pay for them, it's like 1 or 2. In fact, I think
women's recurring payments are on like themselves, not on
I also think women are more likely to pay for like music platforms. Like I think more women pay for Spotify. Again,
I pay for Spotify.
All anecdotal evidence, but please submit your answers to continue my research.
Well, we'll have to see. I still say that there's no gender discrimination, that people of all genders.
The thing is,
we'll
come in here and Brett will be like, yeah, I pay for HBO and I pay for Hulu and I pay for Netflix and I pay for this and that. And I'll be I don't pay for any of them. Mary doesn't pay for any of them.
No.
She says that like I say it with pride. I don't say that with pride.
He says it with a bit of pain in his voice, but nonetheless,
you've got, like, flags and like buttons you wear on your shirt.
I pay for multiple streaming services.
Yeah, you're saying that like I'm like flying.
I heart Netflix.
No, I'm saying it like you look at it as something that like is worth spending your money on, and I think more women are like, I can borrow someone's password,
right?
And that's why Netflix is like not for long
because
they're anti-feminist.
That is
whoa.
Just kidding. I don't care about feminism.
That is pure gender.
Thanks.
Thank you. That is pure gender bias to say that women can just borrow someone's password because those guys couldn't get away with that.
Or it's playing to stereotypes because women work more collaboratively than men, maybe. I don't know. I'd love to continue this research. Please super chat so maybe my project can get some funding.
Perfect.
Should I read this one?
Yes.
Or wait. Okay. 14 Apple Pie added another one. I read it wrong. It was an I, not an L. So it was a capital I. It was Ayatera. Random,
okay.
but they have a metal clothing line too.
That seems
Mary's
perfect.
like, I'm in.
Yeah, Mary's like,
I'm more into that than the music.
she's like, I can't have my music too happy. That's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. All right, Podluck, which we apparently, thanks to a super chat earlier, somebody said that they're going to send one in. I don't think we would actually
By
legally.
Monday. There's a deadline. Hurry
A
up.
self-imposed deadline.
Yeah.
I don't think we would legally be able to use that. So
If they give it to us copyright free, why not?
I just feel like, isn't this kind of the same thing? Like
Can't they
when
email a note? You
Wait,
guys have
what do
my
you
permission to use
mean?
this?
well, isn't this like one of those things?
You
when they-
told them to send in. Sorry, Brett's real mad that I'm interrupting. But you made a request telling people to send stuff in. They're following through.
I feel like it was like half a joke. Maybe I'm just too dry. The idea is like the same.
There are no jokes when it comes to Podluck theme songs.
This is true, but the idea is that like you can't just like tell people a movie pitch. Like if you're producing movies, you can't just hear pitches from people for threat of it being copy. You know, like then coming back later and copywriting it and telling you like you stole their idea.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not even supposed to listen to other people give you movie ideas for that purpose. So maybe that's why
We're gonna get in big legal trouble, I'm sure.
we will. So we'll have to see. So do you want to
Should
read
I
that
read
one
that
before we go?
one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. No comments. Thank you, Striver.
That was just for fun?
There was no message, but we're very grateful for your contribution.
That was great.
I'll take that as a baking fund.
That
No,
will be,
wait, that's for my research.
we will go with that. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.